Hello, animal communicators, and welcome to this week's mindset mastery session, the power training, where I share with you hints and tips that really help you create hacks to rewire your confidence around your animal communication work. So, I am in the middle of an event just now called Increase Your Animal Communication Confidence. I don't normally do my weekly power trainings when I have an event on because the event is always full on. I'm always in the group, the specialized dedicated group, looking at people's posts, seeing what play work they've been doing, what their moving forward actions are, answering questions. So it's really full on in addition to preparing for the day's training. So I don't normally come in here and do the power training, but I was really driven and motivated to come in today with something that came out of yesterday's training. So yesterday, the training was all focused on when it all goes wrong. So let me know in the comments with a sad face, crying face if you wish, if you've ever had a communication consultation where it just all went Pete Tong, just went wrong, belly up. The guardian said, no, it doesn't resonate. No, that doesn't sound like my dog. No, that's not my horse. And you're like, what? What went wrong there? Like, I felt that connection really strongly. I was so sure that I was connected, and that information was so wham that there's no way I could have made that up. Why is it all wrong? So we've all had those times. And if you're just new on your journey, spoiler alert, it will happen to you. It will happen to you. But there's four fundamental reasons why that happens. And that's what the training in the event was about yesterday. Looking at these four reasons why it can all go wrong, but more importantly, what to do when it goes wrong. And we looked at practical strategies around your animal communication work. And then we also looked at really important strategies around your self-care and how you look after yourself when you have a session that kind of went a little bit off kilter. So what I want to bring to you today is something that came up in the VIP room. The VIP room at an event is always a great place to be because there's just always so much magic, so much depth and growth that happens in the VIP room. And I can answer any questions that you have in there for me around animal communication or anything else that you might have too. So what came up in the VIP room was this notion of your big why. And it was around somebody asking around when cases are difficult, when they're feeling the pressure. So again, give me a thumbs up if you know what that one's like, feeling the pressure because you want to get it right for the animal, you want to get it right for the person, or maybe you're working with an animal whose guardian's a bit of a cynic that doesn't really believe in animal communication, so you're really feeling the pressure to prove it to them by getting perfectly accurate information. So all of that creates pressure, and when we create pressure, we actually reduce our ability to be able to communicate. So that was the question in the VIP room. So this is where I bring in the concept of the big why, and that's what I want to share with you today. Because if you've ever had a session where it's all gone wrong, and you're thinking, I'm never going to do this is not for me, then you want this hack. It's so powerful. It's your big why. It's your big reason for why you are doing this work. And I don't want you, and I don't, if students on my program are doing this exercise as part of my training with them, they're not allowed to say, oh, it's because I want to help animals, or oh, I want to help the guardians help the animals. It's because I love animals. Those three statements, as well meaning as they are, as heart centered as they are, they will not get you out of bed when you are hiding under the duvet eating ice cream because you are feeling shamed or rejected or ridiculed or whatever your particular trigger is. If you're feeling that and you're under the duvet and you want to hide and you're giving up and you don't want to do this work anymore, loving animals is not going to cut the mustard. That is not going to get you out of your funk. So your why needs to be big. It needs to be compelling. It needs to be emotionally moving for you. Write this down. If your why doesn't make you cry, it is not big enough. Now, I don't mean that you need to sit with a box of tissues and be crying buckets. I just mean that it needs to move you. So when you read your big why back, it needs to move you. It needs to get you here. It needs to get you here because that is what will move you out your funk. When you're spiraling down into the depths of darkness, telling yourself all these stories that you're rubbish. Why did I think I could do this? Now I've looked like an idiot. Now they're all going to be talking about me, rejection, shame, all this stuff that is normal happens, and it feels very real because it is real, but it also feels very big. So your why needs to be bigger than that emotion for it to move you out of that downward spiral, out from under the duvet, out from the fridge if your thing's eating all the ice cream, the chocolate, drinking all the wine, whatever it is that works for you when you're in that place. Your why needs to be bigger than that to help move you and get you back on track, get you back in the saddle, back doing animal communication work. Because if you're here in this group, or if you're following me on YouTube, you are meant to be doing this work. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come across me. That's just the way that it works. Trust me on that. So, your big why, that's the piece that I want to leave you with today. And the event, as I say, I normally wouldn't do a training in here when the event's on. You can still join the event. It is not too late. We've done 3 trainings and there'll be no more trainings until next week. So, you have between now all the way around to next Tuesday before we do our next big training. There'll be mindset mastery hacks in there. There'll be other things in there that are just like little 5-10 minute snippets, some nice posts that will inspire you and motivate you. But the actual training is 30 minutes, an hour and a half. That's all you need is an hour and a half between now and next Tuesday, and you're caught bang up to date, on track with everybody else. It is not too late to join. And if you want to really elevate your experience, come get up close and personal with me in the VIP room. It's where the magic just happens on a whole other level. I'll pop the link to the event in the description here. And in the meantime, get onto your big why. Why are you showing up? What were you put on this earth to do? What were you born to do for the animals? Get that on your piece of paper. Let it move you. Let it motivate you. And here's the magic. When you've done that, you're actually setting that intention. You're putting that out there. And that's when the magic happens and everything starts to align because you've really put your focus and your attention on your big why. Where attention goes, energy flows, and then the energy will flow there. And I bet you, I absolutely bet you, that if you look closely enough, you will see things start to happen. It might be a text. It might be somebody you bump into on Facebook. It might be coming along to my event. It could be anything. But that will be a step towards the big why, your big dream, your big vision for doing this work that you've just put your attention on. Happens every single time without fail. I could geek out on this all day because I love it so much. The energy and the magic that happens when we align our energy. So align your thoughts, your feelings with your reason for being an animal communicator. What difference do you want to make? How do you want to make that? Where do you want to make that? Who, what are you going to be working with? What does that look like? Really dive into it. Get it down on paper, read it back to you, make sure that it moves you enough. If it doesn't, go back, make it bigger. It has to be bigger than the fears that will be holding you back. That's the key. It has to be bigger than the fear that is either currently holding you back or in time may hold you back. If you're brave enough to post it in the group, I'd love to hear your big why. Otherwise, keep it to yourself, but just keep reading it out loud. You will still be able to energize that when you are reading it out loud to yourself. Read it every day, and that will help energize it, supercharge it, and help it align more easily and effortlessly for you. And if you want to join us in the event, if you're not already there, I'd love to see you there. Click on the link below and you can get in and catch up on all those really juicy trainings. Are my pets already talking to me? Am I making it all up? Is it all in my head? That was training day number 2. And yesterday, what do I do when it all goes wrong? All in that group, waiting for you. Can't wait to see you there. Until next time, take care.